Good there, good there. I think we're
ready to go. Great.
Set.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Health Shop edition here at Natural Health. This is June, so we're talking about men's health issues, and tonight we're talking about male cancer's top concerns. So the interesting thing with cancers basically, again, are a failure of the immune system to work correctly. It's usually overloaded. The liver is usually toxic. There's a lot of chemicals and things involved there. And the immune system is just not working right at all. So again, we're back talking about the immune system, which seems to be the topic of conversation this whole last year with the virus business. We'll talk a little about that, and there's some information I think would be interesting that I'll talk about at the end if I remember. So, of course, I'm Dr. Mark here at Natural Health. We've been in practice now 39 years, going on 40, so we'll have to have a celebration next March about that. So anyway, I've been going quite a while, doing a lot of nutrition work, of course, using whole food nutrition, nutritional supplements, and whole food herbals to help the body to work correctly. And then, of course, doing the chiropractic work that we do to help the nervous system to work correctly, working on underlying causes of problems. Now that's a big difference in paradigm than the mainstream medical work, because they're usually, allopathic medicine works on symptoms are what the problem is, and then that's okay, especially if you have an emergency issue. But if it's a degenerative type disease, which just a lot of Americans have degenerative diseases, they're treating with the symptoms but not getting to underlying causes. So that's what we do here at Natural Health, is we look at the underlying cause, trying to get those problems handled, so then the symptoms or the problem goes away. So looking at cancer prevention, so that's the main thing that we're after, and we've helped many people who have had cancer. They're doing traditional cancer treatments, and we help them nutritionally to find out the underlying reason why it was there in the first place, and then working on nutritional things to help heal the body after the traditional treatment is over, to make sure that the body heals up. Many people who have had cancers, the cancers come back, and that's because they didn't change anything. They may have treated the cancer at that time, and got rid of it. That's great. But if they didn't fix the underlying cause, it will come back, and usually with a vengeance. And sometimes it's not picked up, and there's bad consequences. So we're always looking at underlying issues. Now, the interesting thing is when we talk about these, is that it has to do same thing with the COVID issue, the virus business. I mean, again, we're looking at immune system, strengthening the immune system up. So main things to do is optimize your vitamin D. You've probably heard that a zillion times already. The only problem I have with what you hear on mainstream is that they're mainly looking at vitamin D3, a part of the vitamin D complex. And so we're always looking at a food source of vitamin D, which is basically good oils. Now, one of the things that we've been told for so long is not to eat saturated fats, which is bad advice too. That's a whole another topic of conversation for some other night. But your good fats and oils are where you get the precursors for vitamin D, for that oil, an oil-soluble vitamin, and A and E and K. So those are the oil-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. The deal is with that is you have to be able to digest oils or actually emulsify oils and fats and absorb them. So what does most people have problems with when they have immune system doesn't work? Well, it's the liver that is usually toxic, overloaded, especially if you're having any kind of sinus allergy issues. That's the sinuses overflowing, and so the liver is in bad shape. And so if you don't have a good working liver and a good working gallbladder, you don't absorb the oils, you don't absorb the vitamin D. People are under the impression that whatever you throw in your mouth, it automatically just magically digests and is assimilated into the body, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way very well, and not very well at all, especially in people who have digestive issues already, who are on things like the purple pill and things like that, which are actually stopping the body from producing stomach acids that help the body with digestion, or again, they're taking medications that are already clogging up the liver, and it can't work right, it can't digest your oils, it can't absorb those. So again, it's important to know what's going on with that, how the body works that way. Avoid eating excess protein, kind of the same thing, because people that are having problems with cancer already have problems with digestion, already have a liver that's not working good. They're usually their pH balances are off, their stomach's not producing stomach acid correctly. There's all kind of things going on there at the same time. Eating living foods with amazing health benefits, and that just means you're actually eating food. You're eating like green foods, super greens, those kind of things that help the body in so many ways, with all the different minerals and things that are in greens the chlorophyll, which is basically plant blood, the same as human blood without the iron, and that has magnesium in it. So it's another thing that just really helps to get the body healed, actually good foods. And simplify your cleaning supplies. Well, again, the point that you're getting away from all kind of chemicals. So one of the big ones, you have this type of year is if you're around, glyphosate a lot, you're around artificial fertilizers in the yard. I mean, a lot of times people's yards are some of the most dangerous chemical places that they have. And it looks really nice to have a nice grass-only, dark green grass, but the problem is to get there takes a lot of chemicals usually, so not good. You kill the pesticide, kill the pests and all that kind of stuff. Then you live in that. That's why I watch golf courses sometimes too. They look really nice, but there's a lot of chemicals that are involved with that. So kind of important to know about that. Use greener beauty products. So women, especially with breast cancer issues, it's kind of looking at them at that side of the gender of a tree. But the deal with the breast tissues, again, that's lymphatics. You're using underarm antiperspirants. If you're using all kind of any chemical-laden makeups and things, and even for men wearing, antiperspirants, doing any kind of skin creams, or if you're using any kind of coloring agent, especially in the hair, that kind of stuff. All that are chemicals that the body has to deal with. The stuff, when you put it on the skin, and the body has to deal with all that. So important there. Drink clean, pure water. We're always looking at, in our office, looking at spring water from a good source. You want the minerals in there. Distilled water, of course, is very good as a detoxifying thing, but there's no minerals in it. So actually, it's almost an alkaline type of thing. We want, or sometimes too acidic. Depends on what the purifier is. But we try to get people to look at more spring water, or a natural form of water, and that it's clean. No chlorine in it, no fluoride in it. All those chemicals that are put in there by the water department, and that's fine for transporting the water from wherever they get it to your house, because those pipes can have bugs and different things in there, and you want to keep that clean up. The problem is they never tell people to take it back out on their end. So people are drinking chlorinated water, and even taking showers in chlorinated water. Actually, you absorb more chlorine from that because you're breathing it in more than just the drinking of it. So anyway, important things to be aware of. Ditch your nonstick cookware, your Teflon things. Those are they have been found to be carcinogenic. So when you're scraping that off, you're getting that stuff in your food. And just things like it. You have to really kind of be aware of that, that are in your environment that you don't really think about. And it's so convenient to have a nonstick cookware, but what price are you paying for that? Choose organic and locally grown food. That's kind of self-explanatory. The problem with buying foods that you don't know where it comes from is different countries can have different laws and things that they can get by with different chemicals and stuff. So you want to try to buy locally grown, that you know how it was grown, or especially if you're buying organic food, usually better fertilizers there. Usually they watch the soils to have more of the minerals in there. Problem with a lot of foods that we get nowadays, they're grown on soils that have not been fertilized adequately. They have all the minerals in them that it should have. They can grow the food, but then when you eat the food and it doesn't have the minerals in there, you're not getting those essential minerals and things that you need for the body to work correctly. Skip the canned foods. Again, the cans, to put the food in the cans, they have to be basically boiled to nothing. So there's not much nutritional value in there. And then the aluminum in there, or the plastic lining they have in there, that can get into the food, especially if it was hot when they put it in there. And then ditch your microwave. Microwaves are just very convenient. The problem is they kill the food value, because when they heat the food from the inside, it kills the actual nutrient value. You just get a lot of carbs and stuff with that. And people also have a really bad habit of the microwaving in plastic. They store stuff in Tupperware, throw it in the microwave. Well, that just puts plastic right in that food. And man, that's a really good way of getting cancer and all of kind of other problems too. So really important to look at that. I think that's about it for me. One thing I will mention from a couple books out there, one called, the author is Dr. Judy Mikovits, and she was doing a lot of looking at information in her work about viruses, and some of the vaccines that people got a hold of being contaminated with viruses that cause cancer. So her book series, really important to if you get a chance to look, Dr. Judy Mikovits, really important if you get a chance to look at that. Look at those book series, it's a lot of explanation of that. And that's why if you look into that history, you can see why there's been such an explosion of cancer over time, at least from a viral point of view. Viruses can cause cancer. So again, back to the immune system not working right, but people getting vaccines for even like the flu, but the cell lines were raised in cells that have been contaminated by other viruses. So just some interesting stuff to be aware of for that purpose. So that's enough for me. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Chip. He's got a lot more exciting information for you. So Dr. Chip can take it away. Okay.
All right, so Dr. Chip here at Natural Health, and we're going to keep going with the male cancers and top concerns topic here. So again, I always go back to this, but again, I like to keep things pretty simple. I think we sometimes we overthink about too many things, and we forget about the basics, the foundation, what we need to come back to in order for us to have good health and well-being. So again, male cancers. Now, how does the body, or how does, you would say, some kind of illness come to be? Well, there's 3 different stresses. There is a physical stress or a trauma. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to be, falling down all the time or getting hit with different things, but more of how are you treating the body? Are you able to move your body well? Are you able to, not go overdo anything? Is very important too. Nutrition, chemical. Again, are we eating good foods? Are we eating, good meats, fresh veggies and fruits, whole foods found in nature? And are we not, I would say, overdoing chemicals on our bodies, the environment, everything that we're, you would say, in our environment, everything that we're putting ourselves to. Now, emotional and thoughts, again, that's a big one too. I think most of the time we don't really understand this one as much, but this one is important because we do have many thoughts throughout the day, and sometimes they can be kind of overwhelming to us. And so that's always another one to look into too. So I go back to here too, is that we have, I would say, a nervous system of our bodies. There is a little more to it, but the bigger part, or you would say a more broader picture here, is that the nervous system, in a simplistic model here, is that it contains, you would say, a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic nervous system. Now it says chronic stress causes an unbalanced body. So when our bodies are unbalanced, again, we cannot adapt to stress in our environment, which causes illness. Now, when we are in a sympathetic state, again, this is not a bad state to be in. This is more of a fight or flight response. This could be that, you have to dodge a car if you were kind of walking in the street. It could be more of that you need to, say there's a fire in the building and you needed to run out, or you need to save other people in the fire, that you need to get them out as quick as possible. That is what this system is for. If you were stuck in this system, the rest and digest, in that scenario, again, you could see that could be a quick leading to death there. Now, the parasympathetic system, again, our rest and digest, is more important for most of the time throughout the day. However, research would say is that we're stuck in this system most of our day, you would say around 70%. So when that happens, when we're not able to rest and digest food or rest our bodies, then it's overtaxing our bodies and our brains, which causes a decreased amount of energy, leading to illness, leading to our bodies not able to adapt to the environment. And so again, we'll kind of go a little further here. So I like to put dis-ease. Again, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, but disease is more of something that there's a bug out there that's trying to get us. Dis-ease is a body that cannot sustain very well, to where it is maladaptive and it can't adapt to the environment. And so again, chronic stress causes an unbalanced body, like we said before. Now we'll kind of go through these here. So an improper brain functioning would lead to dis-ease or some kind of illness in the body. Improper brain to body signaling would again cause dis-ease in the body. Improper body to brain signaling could cause dis-ease of the body. So again, that's kind of more of if we have too much going on in here, we're not allowing the systems to actually do their jobs efficiently. Or another way to say it is that the brain is not communicating with the rest of our body in a way that it needs to actually be properly doing the things that it needs to. Or again, the other way to say is that if our body wasn't able to send the right signals to the brain, such as our hand touching a frying pan, and we couldn't sense the heat, then we could have a very bad burn, or again, it'd be not very good at all. So that's another way of saying that there's an improper signaling there, which could lead to illness or disease. Now the body system dysfunctioning, again, kind of stating kind of in general here, leads to disease. And now like Dr. Mark said, is that cancer is not much of a bug that's out to get us. It's more of an immune system dysfunction that our bodies can't adapt, and now cancer grows or overgrows. And so again, that is more of the times an unbalanced body problem. Now, that's why I always go back to the 3 stresses, is that if we're not, you would say, alleviating that stress in those certain areas, then our bodies can't adapt. Short and sweet, it's pretty simple. Now, again, it may be simple, but it's not always easy to keep doing the things that we need to, or again, help our bodies to be able to have overall health and well-being. So again, male cancers, like Dr. Mark explained, kind of more of our food, the nutrition that we need, kind of water, the air, all that, the chemicals in our environment. So that's kind of the chemical portion. If we're not able to get fresh air outside, if we're always kind of stuck inside, if we're not getting good sunlight, again, we'd be kind of this weird little kind of back and forth of, well, how much is too much sunlight? How much is not enough sunlight? Do we use sunscreens? Do we not use sunscreens? I think everybody generally knows kind of what they need to do, but more of is that you can kind of feel your body out, and if you're more of a light skin or pale skin, you know that, okay, too much sunlight could be a little bit of an issue. But sunlight is important. We need sun. Sun is very important for all things in nature to actually live. So again, just kind of being aware, kind of listening to your body, using sunscreen when appropriate, when you're getting too much maybe, and again, just kind of listen there too. Physical trauma, like we said, too much or too little exercise or working out or movement or anything like that can lead to stress. So we don't want you to be sitting all day on the couch or sitting in the chair all day. But more, or also too, is that we don't want to overtax our bodies by running all the time or working out all the time or feeling like we need to be in the gym for hours and hours on end. That can lead to an overdoing of the system there too. And again, emotion and thought. Now again, we're not saying that negative is a bad thing. Negative is just kind of more of a directional cue. It's saying is that there's something off or there's something that I don't, like in the environment, that I need to kind of come back to kind of being more neutral. And when we have a better mindset, mentality, we're able to control those better, then we're able to process things differently, and then we're able to see things differently. Now again, don't want to get caught into the negative state mindset and all that too. That's why when we kind of direct ourselves to being more positive, having a greater outlook on life in general, that's when we can kind of balance out these systems there too. So I think that is it for me, yeah. Now again, male cancers, of course, that's what we're kind of saying here, is that when we are able to see things differently at a different lens, again, there's always 2 sides of the coin. And so one side of the coin, I don't have a coin with me, or 2 sides of your hand, I guess you'd say. One side you could see it as there is a bug out to get us. There is something that is kind of overcoming us all the time. But if we flip the side, we can only see one side or the other too. so you can only see one side of your hand or not. But when you switch kind of more your perspective of, well, what can I do about it for my own health to help me to prevent those issues, that's kind of how we look at it here at Natural Health, helping you to have better adaptability so that you can have overall health in your life. So that's that here. And again, this is Little 2 Health and Beyond. This is something that Eddie and I have been working on. Coach Ed and Dr. Chip here have been working on, and this is kind of more, goes into more of the foundations of health and well-being, and getting a clear understanding of what's all really going on. If you'd like more information about that, it's at 2healthandbeyond.com. Again, a fun little project. We just want to help people understand more and more about health and what they can do, really can do about it. So that is it for us here. You can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Parler, Brighteon, and YouTube at Natural Health Quincy IL. Our website is naturalhealthquincy.com. You can always subscribe to our email list for more information for different things of that nature. We're located at 2000 Jefferson Street in Quincy, Illinois, and the number is 217-228-2040. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you kind of gained some more insight and understanding, but really getting back to more of that foundational insight of what we can do for ourselves so that we can be healthy. I think that's it. All righty. Have a good one and have a great night.